What's up guys, it's Paralyzer here and welcome to another Grounded 2 video. Today we're looking at base locations inside of Grounded 2. You want to know where you're going to build your base inside of the new game. I got a few locations to show off today and then, you can make the decision for yourself where you would like to build. For our first location here, we're at the very first Ranger outpost by the snack bar, which is basically where you spawn. You spawn over here at this sort of ominous onboarding facility. You come out of here, and we're pretty much right next to it. Now, this is the location that I did build my base in my world with Emmy. She built the majority of the base. The main perks of being here are that you do have an ominous facility next to you, which has a resource analyzer. This is where you pick up your Omni tool, not that that matters. You also have a ranger station in here, so you can turn in your chips and make all of your upgrades. You can also talk to Sloan if you ever need that for part of the main quest. The negatives about this one, it doesn't have a water cooler inside of this ranger station. It's one of the only ones on the map that doesn't have a water cooler. However, it does have this big tap up above. Sometimes you'll find some water droplets around this, like right here, which you can slurp up to quench your thirst. You also do have a big root here, which you can attach sap catchers to if you're trying to farm sap, as well as a sap cluster underneath as well. So you get a good amount of sap here too. There is plenty of grass. There's a couple of weed stems nearby. There's not a crazy number of weeds, but it'll be enough to keep you covered in the early game here. And the good part is there's not too many dangerous creatures nearby. Obviously, base raids aren't really a thing currently in the game, or they work very differently to Grounded 1. You get a lot more time to prepare. So you don't need to worry about being raided by creatures as of right now. So for that reason, I'd say this is a pretty solid location. It's pretty central on the map, and it's definitely an area that we've enjoyed living. You don't get attacked by wolf spiders or anything dangerous on a nightly basis. So I would highly recommend this area for your first base location. With that being said, let's move on to our next base location on the map. For our next base location, we have a little bit of a base with a view right here. We're on top of this sort of big giant rock in the trash bag ranger outpost area. Now, the ranger outpost is down below, but this is where you would probably want to build the base right here, either on this rock or over on this rock over here. You could build on this big log, but these things are indestructible and they're going to get in the way unless you build up a bit first. So you get a lovely view over the yard from up here. It's slightly higher up than that other base, so if zip lines were to get introduced at some point, you could pretty easily create some zip lines across the yard from up here, if those do become a thing. You just have a lovely area to set up in. There is a lot of pine over here as well. If you're looking to use that new resource to build your base, and you don't want to travel too far to get it, you can get these pine needles right here very, very easily. Again, it's a little bit more dangerous, this area, than the last one, but it's nothing too dangerous. You're not going to be running into a mantis when you walk around the corner. You should be completely fine. You are quite central on the map once again. You can access a lot of the sort of late game areas pretty easily. It's going to be a bit of a far distance from the ice cream cart, but you should still be fine because, I mean, let's be honest, the ice cream cart's a journey as it is, regardless of where you live. It's one hell of a trek. If we go inside of this resource analyzing area in the ranger station, we have a resource analyzer. We have a PTS, which is currently locked, but in the future, there's a theory that these might be used to travel across the map. So once that unlocks, again, could be very, very useful, or it could just be a new area that hasn't been developed yet. I don't know. We have a ranger station right here as well that you can use to purchase upgrades and turn in your chips. And then most importantly, you have the water cooler and the Sloan television. The water cooler is the biggest upgrade from the last location. It means you have infinite water prior to building anything here, which helps a lot in progressing in the game. It means you're not going to ever die of thirst. And like I said, a bunch of needle bundles if you want to use that new pine needle stuff for your base. So it has a lot of useful resources nearby, and it's definitely a nice location to build. You could even build up onto this big wooden log, like these posts in the yard. I built up here because there was some science on it, but if you wanted, you could build a staircase up to this. Okay, there we go. Now we're at the top. Yeah, I think you would make a lovely base with a view. You'd obviously have to have a much better staircase than the one I just climbed. And you'd be able to see all the way across the yard, and if they do add zip lines, like I say, I can see a lot of easy places to connect them up. And overall, a very solid base location. Let's move on to our third location. For base location number 3, we are over here by the Ranger Outpost in Ceremony. This one is slightly lower down yet again. You have a Ranger Outpost right here. That is right where you would want to build your base. You can head inside, and as you can see, we do have a water cooler, which means infinite water. A resource analyzer, so you can analyze your resources. A ranger station to input the chips and buy everything you need. And another pneumatic transit system, which I don't think is accessible right now unless I'm just bad at this game. There is a bunch of items in there, though, like bandages and stuff, so I don't know, maybe I'm just bad. But yes, you would head outside, and you could build your base anywhere in this area. There is a lot of flat, open land right here to build a base. You have this lovely curved arch here where you could put your sap collectors as well. There is some spiky burrs, but you can't break these yet, so those will just be an eyesore for you. If you're trying to build a base, just be aware of those. You can't break them. So if you're building anywhere near them, they're going to be unbreakable and in your way, which is pretty annoying. But yeah, we have this area here, which I think is where you would want to put the base. You could also put it up top here, though, if we go ahead and climb up. Again, another water tap as well. If you need even more water than infinite, it has infinite +1. But yeah, you could hang a base off the top of here as well and build like a staircase that goes down below. Also, definitely an option. I'd say it's a solid base location. The water cooler really helps. It's in a slightly more dangerous area than the previous two, but you should be okay. You shouldn't have too many issues as long as you don't roam too far from the base. But yeah, another solid base location. We got one more location in us, so I'm going to head over to that final location right now. Here we are at the 4th and final location. The first thing you'll notice about this location is you get a lot of bees landing up here. That's a good thing. It's really hard to find bees right now in the game, and for some reason they seem to fly into this rock a lot. So if you're trying to get a lot of bee fuzz, this location is definitely for you, and you do need bee fuzz for that cooling armor before you head to the ice cream cart area. It's also really high up, so again, if zip lines get added at some point in the future, you will have access to a majority of the map just by being up here as well. In terms of locations, that ranger station from Ceremony is pretty close by, but also the ranger outpost at the statue is really close by as well. It's just over there, so you can be able to analyze and get infinite water from those, though they are a little further than you would like, so you can just set up dew collectors like at the first base I showed if you want to get plenty of water. When it comes to analyzing things, obviously you'll still have to head to one of those to be able to do it. In terms of sap collectors, there was a log down below over here that you could stick your sap collectors on right there. There's a couple of logs if you're trying to collect a bunch of sap, which I think would be very nice. And I think overall this terrain is just really useful for being able to build a large open area base where nothing is going to get in your way. You can expand as much as you like. There's pretty much unlimited space up here, and the bees are definitely a huge plus too. You got quite a lot of grass nearby as well as weed stems. As you can see, there's plenty on the screen, so shouldn't have any issue collecting those either. Yeah, overall, the 4th location is pretty solid too. Obviously, built mine in the first location I showed off in this video, but I would recommend all 4 of these locations. They are very useful. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like on it. Leave a comment on where you've built your base. I'd love to know of some other locations that people have built in. And I will see you in the next Grounded 2 video. Have a great rest of your day.